What's good, y'all? It's your boy Church Boy V. Here with another video. I'm trying something new. So y'all let me know if y'all like this or not. But today we're gonna get into the banned foods in other countries that we eat here in America. So it's about to be exciting, about to be informative. So let's get right into the video, man. This is amazing.
The world needs ways to reduce carbon emissions.
ExxonMobil can help.
We're working on solutions for our...
Most Americans want to believe that the United States is the gold standard of clean food.
That look nasty.
But that belief may not hold up to scrutiny. From unsanitary practices in mass production to the addition of dangerous chemicals, countries have good reason to give the side eye to imported foods claiming to be USDA approved.
Ew.
That's right. This week we're talking about American foods that have been banned by other countries. But before we get started, be sure to subscribe to the Weird History Food
Hey, y'all subscribe to my channel
then
now.
Leave a comment and tell us what other world food facts you would like to know more about. Now let's see how wrong the rest of the world really is.
Skittles. Starting off with
Since
candy.
the dawn of Skittles, there have been rumors about the dangers of eating them. Every one of us heard at least one classmate claim that the red ones make you sterile, and the yellow ones, they give you cancer. Turns out, it might be worse than that. First of all, your classmate wasn't wrong. The dyes known as Yellow 5 and Yellow 6 have been linked to hives and hyperactivity in children. Sweden and Norway have banned the candies out of concern. The European Union will most likely be banning Skittles at the end of the year, having already swapped out some of the dye for more natural flavors. This is because of something called titanium dioxide, which can be found making the colors pop across the rainbow. Research linked titanium dioxide to damaged DNA, which can lead to cancer. While Europe may be ahead of the Skittles awareness curve, America is quickly catching up. In May of 2021, the Environmental Working Group asked the FDA to categorize titanium dioxide as toxic. And yes, before you ask, right now the FDA says it's okay to consume some of that chemical compound. You can taste the rainbow, but just in moderation. California is home to an ongoing lawsuit against Mars Inc., the parent company of Skittles. The lawsuit claims Skittles are not only toxic, but are unfit for human consumption. So maybe for now, play it safe. Just go have some Swedish fish instead.
Them nasty. No, I disgusting. Bread, man. Man, I eat bread too. I love
Ever looked
bread.
at a piece of crusty French baguette, be it in cartoon or in real life? But to be honest, it was probably in the hands of Pepe Le Pew, and think, I can't make a sandwich with that. As great as we talk about the invention of sliced bread, a lot of European countries have actually banned much of what you'd find on America's wide grocer shelves. That's because we make a lot of our bread not just with grain, but with a variety snap packs worth of additives. Like azodicarbonamide, for example, which helps bleach flour and strengthen dough. Fun fact about azodicarbonamide,
don't need
it's
to
also
be
used
in
in
there.
a spectrum of industrial products, including yoga mats. Downward dogs. The European Union is really against the idea of its citizens eating yoga mat material and has banned their use in food products.
That's a tough one. Pork. Don't really eat pork.
Pork, the other white meat, is a staple of American meats, along with chicken, fish, and beef.
One thing, man, many years, even to this day, people still talk about they don't eat pork, and understandable. And you know, in the Old Testament, talk about not eating pork for the Jews, because it's a dirty animal and stuff like that. But just watch this video, you're gonna see. Wow.
From bacon to ham, hot dogs to pork chops.
So good.
American meat eaters consume about 67 pounds of
I
pig
stopped
per
eating ham
person
too.
every year. Soo-wee, my heart is stopping. Don't get us wrong, other nations indulge in swine just as much, if not more, than Americans. So why doesn't the U.S. export scores of succulent bacon-bearing
Fat
whores?
pig.
Well, it turns out America adds a lot of chemicals during processing. Ractopamine in particular is used in many pig farms to raise porkier porkers. Ractopamine,
These words are crazy, bro.
Foods, has been banned in 160 countries, which all consider the drug unsafe for human consumption.
That makes sense.
This, in turn, has led to a prohibition of pork exports across the world. The EU hasn't touched the stuff since outlawing ractopamine in 2009. China and Russia have been ractopamine-less since 2013. Maybe that's because ractopamine has the same effects as an intoxicant on humans and can cause tachycardia, headaches, and muscle spasms if consumed in large enough quantities. But it is a small price to pay for a perfect piece of the pork.
I'm trying to have a heart attack. Chicken.
Hygiene in America often comes down to dousing stuff
Just a
in a chlorine
process
bath
is
and
crazy.
calling it FDA approved, and chicken is no exception. Pathogen reduction treatments, or PRTs, refer to the use of different chemicals to destroy harmful microbes on raw meat. Somewhere along the line, American food regulators decided a quick chlorine shot was the best way to kill salmonella and other bacteria on uncooked poultry.
That's why we clean our chicken, people.
And look, it's not that the EU is against taking a long gulp from the public pool now and then. In fact, the risks posed by chlorine consumption are relatively low. The bigger concern is that the chlorine baths are just an eye-burning band-aid on a larger problem. The tip of the beak, so to speak. We're worried that the PRTs are insufficient to deal with more than just the normal bacteria and don't get at a potential contamination from things like low-quality feed to unsanitary coops on farms. The EU called the chlorine rinse an easy fix, arguing no chemical rinse will ever remove all bacteria from meat heavily contaminated as a result of poor hygiene. That hurts extra to hear it from the French.
Mountain Dew. Are they getting to soda?
Mountain Dew is the closest any soft drink has come to being fully weaponized. But did you know in Austria and Norway, the soda is outright banned?
Oh, wow.
That's because Mountain Dew's signature Chernobyl radiant hue comes from tartrazine, also known as Yellow 5.
Yellow 5.
And if
I heard
your
about Yellow
ADHD
5.
hasn't kicked in yet, you'll remember that color and number from the Skittles section earlier. It's been linked to headaches, hyperactivity, and the desire to be annoying to other people. Ironically, the qualities that make Mountain Dew a soda non gratis in other countries is exactly what the brand promotes: a frenetic, over-caffeinated lifestyle. Do the do. Baja Blast. Woo.
Them good. I ain't
And
gonna lie.
while
The
you might
Baja
be able to find
Blast
Mountain Dew
are
in
fire.
Europe, it's going to hit a little different. That's because Europe spent exactly 2 years in the 90s riding the dew before discontinuing it. What is being sold as Mountain Dew in the EU as a recipe closer to the original carbonated beverage, as created by Tennessee beverage bottlers Barney and Ollie Hartman in the 1940s. The original Mountain Dew was meant as a whiskey mixer, with a name coming from the affectionate Scottish term for moonshine. It'll tickle your innards, is what the old ads used to read. No lies detected here.
Yahoo! Mountain Dew!
Wow. Little Debbie. Staple in the black community.
Little Debbie has been providing Americans
I
with
started
comfort
eating
snack
that, bro. That
foods since the
stuff is
1960s.
terrible.
With their variety of zebra cakes, star crunches, nutty bars,
Ooh.
fudge rounds, and
Man.
cosmic brownies.
Ooh,
But their big claim to fame,
childhood
as anyone who
memories,
has ever
boy.
had their lunch packed by a parent can attest, is the Little Debbie Swiss Rolls.
Swiss
A
roll.
mixture
Now them
of
good.
rich
Them
chocolate
good.
cake
You
and
can't eat
butter
them all the
creamy
time,
filling.
but
Over
they're good.
900 million cartons of Little Debbie products are shipped each year, but
Gee,
none of
nah,
those cartons
million.
go anywhere near Austria or Norway. Blame those rascally additives, Yellow 5 and Red 40.
Yep.
Swiss rolls contain 32 milligrams of dye per
Red
product.
40 is
And in
dangerous
those
too.
quantities, they've been shown to have an adverse effect on children. And we're
I've been
not
learning
just
about
talking
Red 40.
about causing hyperactivity, although one study found that cutting all artificial food coloring from diets may be one half as effective as prescribing kids Ritalin. And while we can't prove there's a direct connection between artificial food coloring and cancer, they do cause damage to white blood cells, causing them to mutate after only 3 hours. Exposure to these dyes could cause tumor cells to multiply way more rapidly. For that reason, researchers say a high chronic intake of food colorings throughout the entire life is not advisable. If only they weren't so delicious.
For real.
Surprisingly, you can buy Little Debbie's Swiss rolls in the EU, but they come with warning labels advising parents of the potential dangers to kids. You know, like cigarettes.
Yeah, true. Special K.
When you hear the
Banned
words
cereal.
banned breakfast cereal, you're probably imagining one of the countless kid-focused brands of sugary morsels, like the oh-so-delicious Cookie Crisp. So you might be surprised to learn that it's actually Special K, the most boring cereal on
Trash.
the earth, that has been
Disgusting.
banned in Denmark and discouraged in the EU. How does the healthiest box
It's like
of
the
flakes on the
nasty
shelf
version
get
of
banned,
Frosted
while
Flakes.
stuff like Reese's Puffs and Cinnamon Toast Crunch continue to enjoy free passage?
Stop eating
Ironically,
Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
because of its supposed health benefits. In the UK, Special K has been put on blast by the Advertising Standards Authority for exaggerating how much folic acid they pack into portions. Though it's still legal to buy in Europe, Denmark has completely banned Special K since 2004 for all
Oh,
its
wow.
fortified vitamins and minerals. Regulators argue that Kellogg's cereal's unnaturally high levels of everything from vitamin A to zinc actually qualify Special K as a
GMOs.
genetically modified organism,
Uh-oh.
or GMO. More specifically,
Ew.
Special K is sold
Lab.
with the same
Coming from the
artificial
lab, what that
compounds that
means,
studies have
GMOs.
shown to potentially pose health risks,
Like they try to
specifically to
make all our
children and
food.
pregnant women. In conclusion, you may want to stick with crunch berries.
Steak. I don't really
You
eat
don't need
steak.
to take a transcontinental flight to visit countries that have banned American foods. Just drive up to the Canadian border, flash your passport, and sign an affidavit saying you're not smuggling any steak tartare in your trunk. Today, consuming raw meat has fallen out of fashion in the U.S., much like other foods like veal and
The
pate,
heck?
which don't make you
That
sick,
look
but
nasty,
make you
bro.
sad. But while baby cow and overstuffed goose liver is illegal in parts of America now, tartare is not. See,
Tartare.
while veal
That
and
looks so
pate
nasty,
may
bro.
be uncool, they are also served hot. Unlike tartare, which is chopped up cold meat, straight from the cow. Undercooked or raw foods can lead to an increase in food poisoning and parasitic infections, especially in beef and poultry.
Don't kill
But
yourself.
considering how fancy pants steak tartare is, Titanic,
Ugh.
one might say, you'd think countries might have given away and let the luxury
Yeah, what
delicacy
the heck is
slide.
this?
And for a long time, they did. In
Oh, cook
Canada,
this stuff.
meat has to reach an internal temperature of 145 degrees Fahrenheit, the equivalent of a medium rare steak, in order to be considered safe to serve. But those rules aren't strictly enforced. That
That's
is,
nasty.
until recently. In 2021, restaurant
I really
Eats
only
in
heard
New
white-
Brunswick selling steak tartare
I only heard
were
rich
all
people
served
eat this
cease and desist
type stuff.
letters. Canadian public
I don't know, I
health
said
officials
white,
had
but
decided
rich
that amid
people
the ongoing
don't
health
eat that
crisis of
steak tartare stuff.
COVID-19, the last thing their citizens needed was a side order of botulism.
Coca-Cola. Yep. Yep.
Is
Ton of
there
sugar.
anything more
Kill you.
American than Coca-Cola?
That's it.
The fizz,
Diabetic.
the flavor,
in a
the
bottle.
former secret ingredient, cocaine. Coke
Yep.
is basically apple pie in beverage form. And it's not just Americans who are cuckoo for Coke. Invented by a pharmacist in 1886 Georgia, Coca-Cola quickly caught on overseas. It was the World War II GI's drink of choice.
Yep.
Pre-pandemic, Coca-Cola had 500 brands in over 200 countries,
Oh,
making
wow.
it the best-selling soft drink and one of the most recognizable brands
That's
of all
crazy.
time. But there will always
Diabetes
be
in a
exceptions.
bottle.
And unlike the other entries on the list, for once it has nothing to do with health concerns. Everybody knows that Coke is not good for you. We just decided collectively that we don't care. No, the
Facts.
countries that have outlawed the brand have done so because of what it represents, a symbol of the encroachment of American capitalism. From 1962 to 2011, the U.S. banned sales of Coke to Burma as part of sanctions against the
Heck is
military
that?
junta that ruled the country until 2011. It resumed sales in the country in 2012. Today, Coca-Cola is only unavailable in 2 countries with long-term trade embargoes with the U.S. North Korea hasn't allowed Coke since 1950,
surprised.
and the bubbly beverage has been banned in Cuba since Fidel Castro seized
Oh, wow.
supplies in 1962. First the prequels, now Coke. Is there anything that can't be ruined by the federalization
Man.
of trade taxation? In a twist of irony and line, Cuba was actually one of the first bottlers of the beverage outside of America. Today, Cuba Cola has replaced Coke as the country's soft drink.
They got their
of
own. They
choice,
say,
though
forget
Black
Coke. We got our
markets
own,
aside.
baby.
After all, it is the
Cuba
birthplace
Cola.
of the Cuba Libre, aka the rum and Coke.
That's crazy. M&M's. Yeah, I had to stop eating them.
M&M's.
I love me
the
some
delicious
M&Ms.
melt in
Real
your
talk.
mouth, not in your hand snacks. were originally a collaboration
chocolate
between the
version
Science
of
Sons of the Mars and Hershey dynasties
Skittles.
in 1941. Like Coca-Cola,
black
M&M's
version of
gained
Skittles.
international fans during World War II, as American soldiers popularized the candy overseas as the chocolate that won't get your trigger finger all sticky. But you won't find the candy in Sweden, where it's banned due to a trademark conflict with a popular national candy that also features lowercase m's as its signature. When Mars introduced the candy to Sweden in 2009, a court ruled its marketing too similar to that of the Norwegian Marabous, which resemble Kit Kats. During World War I, Marabou had moved its manufacturing to its Swedish neighbors, where it received a royal warrant of appointment by the King of Sweden.
Okay.
And here we thought the Swiss were the chocolate snobs. Should you want to check out what the fuss is all about, Marabou's is sold in IKEA stores here in the U.S. Well, at least it's good to know that M&M's don't contain any harmful dyes or chlorine residue, right? That's a pretty important victory for hard-shelled chocolate. So what do you think? Which of these bands...
Oh, man. That was tough because I used to eat Skittles. Used to eat M&M's. I drink a Coke here now. I don't really drink soda like that. What else? Bread. I'm trying to get off bread. That's been tough for me right now. But this real, what is it called? Interesting, because I mean, it just shows these companies here in America do not care about us. They just want the money. They don't care about our health. They don't care about the long-term effects. They just wants to buy it. So I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Y'all put in the comments which one of these items that surprised you, which one you knew about, and did you like the video? And know that God loves you, know that I love you. Time stamp your favorite part. Subscribe, be a part of the church family. And y'all have a blessed one. Your boy Church Boy V out.